Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into The Medium by Design. This is part 2 of the 4 mornings that I spent with Dolores Cannon. This is the next 2 mornings. So the third day I just got up and said, Dolores, would you like to continue with your messages? Sure, I think that, and she's very funny in this first paragraph. Sure, I think that can be arranged. Should we check with our people to put it on our schedules? And she was laughing. She was really jovial. Yes, even I continue to have a sense of humor. Laughing and joy continue to be experienced after you leave Earth. Far too often people get very serious about all this study, discovery, and new understanding. But in actuality, this is all supposed to be normal. Yes, all the information is meant to bring humanity to their original normal and glory. That really is the key to all of this, isn't it? You, me, and thousands of other people receiving information simply to bring people out of the dark and into the truth of what humanity was always meant to be. Attempting to understand our human history throughout this galaxy does overwhelm the mind at times. This is because of all the false information and programs that have been so deeply ingrained in our race. This is why it is taking so long to break free. It really is just like the movie The Matrix. Most people are comfortable with what they believe is their reality, and as long as they feel in control, make money, and it appears like they are getting what they want, they are happy. The deeper issues arise when people experience pain and suffering. This is when all false programs, ideas, and beliefs can be dismantled and the truth can rise to the surface. If we are ready. Many will go through these difficult experiences and get nothing from it and return to life as it was. However, there are those that have moments of epiphany that change the way they look and understand everything. Those are the ones that will assist in the evolution of man. Once you know something, you cannot unknow it. That is the beauty of evolution. Okay, and now the last day, the 4th day I was with her, we continue. I think you are starting to feel the excitement of this time for you. Although you may be feeling a little unstable in your body, that should not deter you from continuing doing your writings. And it hasn't. I'm pretty much back up and running with the writings. So let's continue with some of these new races you will interact with. There will most likely be the first dozen you get introduced to as they share their role with us and Earth. I like to call them the Dirty Dozen. This will help you get acquainted with the different frequencies they exist on. You have been in contact already with 3 or 4, but that 4th you may not be aware of. As you connect with each one, you will continue to gather information and insights to this period of Earth's history, as well as more of what has gone on in history. As I said to you before, your work does and will overlap mine sometimes. My suggestion is to avoid those races that do not wish to assist humanity at this time. It would be more advantageous to stay focused on all the help that is available. This would also be more inspirational to assist people to get through these times. I'm not supposed to name names, but I can share some of the different roles that these cultures are playing. This is very interesting. There is one group that has come to lift our moral compass and work with the hearts of humans. They definitely live in a frequency of love and know the evolution of reaching that way and sustaining it. Many will tell you all the alliance groups are here in love. This is totally true, but they each have an individual role to play and need of humanity to assist with. So this particular race will remain focused on our hearts and guiding us to feel more of the appropriate right action to take when dealing with another person. You mentioned every relationship needs to be a win-win in order to keep each other ascending together. This would be true. There are multiple races carrying the blueprints for the technologies that must come through to assist humanity, especially in the medical field. You can already see the speed at which technology is moving, but some of the most beneficial advances have not reached the general public yet. This will continue to be a trend through 2030. A little side note, I was doing a lot of energy work on myself before the medical incident with my heart and the surgery. And I really believed with all my power and all my memories from my other lifetimes, especially Atlantis, that I could energetically repair my heart. That did not happen. And if I did not be drawn to go to the hospital the day I did, I would have passed within a day or two. If I would have come home and just sat here with being in heart failure, I wouldn't be around, because I had complete failure when I got to the hospital. So, there are technologies that we've had in the past and that other races have tried to bring to this planet and that were here, and then we lost it. We lost so much of Atlantean advancement and other races throughout history too. And now that's flooding back, but unfortunately, it couldn't fly back into my life fast enough so I could avoid this, what I call the barbaric surgery of opening up my chest. But I hope to become more comfortable with that experience as time continues. So she just mentions that all of these advancements are going to continue through 2030, which you've probably heard through other mediums and people online. There is another race that, this is incredible. There is another race that came to help shift the tides and weather patterns of the planet. Even though it is known that man has attempted to manipulate the weather, this race has chosen to take responsibility to assist Mother Earth to go through her physical transition, which involves many of the physical experiences we are witnessing now. They did not promise to make it easier on us. They only are focused on assisting the Earth to get through her shift without too much damage. That I thought was interesting. I didn't expect that. I should mention that it is more common for multiple groups to work together than to take on a task completely on their own, unless their expertise is unmatched by any other race. You should also be aware that not all of these races can appear in our dimension to be seen. This is also interesting. That is why channelers will remain very busy moving forward, because not everything will be seen with human eyes. This is also why developing the heart and feeling centers of the body, of which there are many, is imperative for human evolution. So that's another excellent point. Many of these multidimensional beings cannot be seen by us. That's why we develop our spiritual side and our third eye and do the meditations and journal to get this communication free-flowing, even though they may not be able to physically be in this dimension. It doesn't mean they're not around us. It's just, just like I experienced, we don't always see these beings. So what does this mean to those listening to these many messages and information about the galactics and human evolution? Well, if you find yourself exposed to this information, you might consider that you are raising in frequency and become more and more conscious of your actions, motives, and emotions that guide your everyday life. That's another really important thing. Being conscious moment to moment every day. And that builds on your evolutionary momentum and understanding and messages and insights and inspiration. It really is like a snowball. Once you open the door and you start doing little exercises and things and breathing and relaxing and just observing, and then see who comes into your field during the day, I cannot tell you how many supposedly chance meetings I have that change my whole day. I mean, it is really amazing. I mean, let me finish this and I'll give you a couple of fun stories. So she talks about you becoming more conscious and your frequency raising. You might find yourself, because of this raising frequency, making different decisions in a different way than you have before. You might also realize the impact you have in the world and that you are making a difference. This would be the best case scenario for everyone to realize. Okay, now that was the third and fourth days that I got Dolores Cannon and listened to her and really enjoyed her insights. Is just 4 mornings of total bliss with her. And if you're new to the channel, go check out the other videos, because if you think this is like just a one-time deal, I have over 140 videos on here, and there's messages from all kinds of people and beings, and you name it. So, if you're new, search around, see what other videos you're attracted to, because as I said, there's just so much here now to look at and listen to. So a couple of fun stories about everyday so-called coincidence meetings. I'm doing my best to walk as much as possible in the early mornings to help my heart, my circulation, my blood pressure, whatever. So I do that, and the other day, because I leave so early, there's usually nobody out, which is exactly the way I like it, right? I like to be alone much of the time. So I'm walking around and I see a woman walking her dog, and she's crossing the street that I'm on heading towards that intersection. So she walks and I get a strong impression about her. I don't know what that means yet, but I'm like, something's going on with this lady. So I go down to the intersection and I go and I follow her, right? Now I'm not stalking, so don't think I became a stalker all of a sudden. I'm just kind of following my intuition, and I'm not racing up to her. Her dog stops and turns around waiting for me. So I catch up to her and she says, I felt very strongly when I saw you that I had to slow down and just see what happens. She wasn't going to approach me, but her dog actually led the physical slowdown, and then she had to just stand there, right? Otherwise she would have been dragging her dog. So I walked up to her, I introduced myself, I petted the dog, and she says he really loves men. So, the natural flow of conversation when you're not pushing anything is very, very funny. So she says, oh, he really loves men. And I said, oh, that's funny. I do too, So then she says, oh, well, I like women. So right away, I have a moment with someone, and that just got the ball rolling, right? So I said to her, well, why don't we walk together and see what happens? So of course, things expand, right? When 2 or more come together, the energy starts to expand because we're having a divine connection. Somebody wanted us to meet. And as I'm saying this, I'm getting a shiver, and the energy is flooding down into my body as I'm saying this, because I'm speaking the truth, right? I feel it in my body. And so we're walking, and she named 3 people that had passed that she missed. And one, she's a caretaker, a health caretaker. So she had helped a couple, and the husband died while under her care, but she became best friends with the wife. And the wife was in her 90s. So to make things easier with the wife, since they were such good friends, she said, why don't you just take a room in my house? Because they knew her days were numbered too, right? She's not going to be around forever. She's already in her 90s. And so they had this beautiful friendship, and then she passed, right? So that was the one. I said, what's her name? And she said, Charlotte. I said, that's it. That's the one. So Charlotte is the one that brought us together. Now we had to find out, what does Charlotte want to say, right? So the messages were very, very simple. And that often happens with somebody that doesn't know me. I don't come blasting with Galactics. I'm not Dolores Cannon and just like, oh, there's this alien race with you right now. It doesn't work like that. The messages come from the ones that the person can receive from. That's very important. It's the ones that come to me, like Charlotte, she's the one that orchestrated it because she had a very palatable, honest, truthful message for this beautiful woman, okay? So basically all she said was, make sure your car's ready to go on a trip, because as soon as the weather changes in October, you're going to take a road trip. And then you need to do work on your house. You need to paint a couple of rooms. You need to clean out. There's a lot of dead energy in there. Well, the woman did live there till she died. And so it's funny, the woman was completely in agreement, and she was crying, of course, because this is one of her best friends. So that's another side note. A lot of us are still grieving a lot of the endings that happened through the COVID period. So if you haven't allowed yourself to grieve, you may want to do that, because we really don't want the grief stuck in this body, because then we're just going to have another thing to clear out down the road, right? So it's better if you can consciously deal with your emotions, allow them to come up, don't suppress them, don't say they're wrong, don't judge them. So she's grieving, so she starts crying, which happens a lot now. So with me and others. So anyway, and then she talks about the house and the clearing out and the painting. And the woman, she says, that's exactly what I know I need to do, but she's having a little motivation issue, which many of us are having too. So we just had this beautiful sharing, and then we went about our days, and now we text each other and just wish each other a happy day. The second thing, and this is recent, by the way, I'm trying to give you very current, as we used to say in religious field, testimony, very, very current testimonies of how Spirit's working in my life. The other one that happened was with my chiropractor. I have two chiropractors. I have the one that you heard the story of the day I went to the hospital. That's my energetic chiropractor. And then who doesn't do cracking manipulations. He does a different, unique technique. Then I have my regular chiropractor, who's gentle but does do the cracking stuff, which I still like also. I like both of them. And the cracking one is close to the house, so I like going to him. It's very convenient. So I go to him one day because now I'm ready. I'm 4 months out of surgery. I want to start going to my massage therapist again and go to my chiropractors and start getting the energy of my body really back and move forward and get better, be better than I was before. So I just go there thinking, okay, it's time to get reacquainted with him. I haven't talked to him in 5 months. He's probably wondering what the hell happened. So I go in and we chit-chat, and I open up more about who I am because I don't know him that long, and he is really opening, his interest. He wants to talk to me. It's a busy day for him, so he leads me to his office, and I said, I have time, I'll wait, and you can go, work on your patients, and then on your breaks we'll talk. And he still hadn't done my adjustment, so I wasn't going anywhere. I was waiting for my adjustment. So in between the patients, we started going deeper and deeper and deeper into our spiritual experiences and how Spirit guides our work, who we're supposed to meet, how he's supposed to adjust, things he's not supposed to do. He is super aware that there is some greater force leading him in his life. And so we had this tremendous exchange, and then he started to do my adjustment. I got that ball rolling. And we had this tremendous hug at the end, total recognition of each other's soul. Just a soul-loving hug with tears, and then I left. And this is all recent, right? So I just tell you these two short stories because when you leave the house, if your mind is solely focused on, I'm here to get my chiropractic adjustment, if I lock in my what are those, the horse blinders, and not open my mouth and not share anything and not do anything, nothing is going to happen. We have to be open. We have to consciously be open, and then we receive. Then we let the energies come in. Okay, I'm here with this one now. I wonder what this is going to look like. Like the lady walking the dog. I wonder what's going to happen here. The dog and her friend Charlotte got us together. Something's going to happen. So anyway, I should wind this video up, and I appreciate you all. Thank you, subscribers. Thanks for sharing these videos, everybody. Thanks for liking, commenting, whatever you're doing to be supportive of this channel. May you be blessed, because again, I always seem to be living in the uncertainty and doing my work not knowing who I'm touching unless you let me know, right? So again, continue to do whatever you can to be supportive. My email address is in the description. If you have an idea of some kind of group you want to have in your own home, you want to do it virtually, great. It'd be lovely. Get your friends together. Let's do some spiritual work right there in your house. That's the one thing that came out of COVID that will benefit anybody anywhere. You can do your spiritual work with the people you want anywhere now with this internet. This is like the next level of the internet. So enjoy your days. Try to be open and conscious. Love the connections with the people that you meet, especially the spontaneous ones. And just know that there is more to come. Thanks for watching this part 1 and part 2 of Dolores Cannon. And I do have other things coming up really soon. So I will see you soon on The Medium by Design.